The Benefactor Terrorbyte released yesterday, and I made the video calling it the greatest vehicle ever, and I still stand by that, but some people did point out some pretty big annoyances, and I do agree, and I wanted to make a video on these things because it doesn't hurt to sort of ask Rockstar to maybe fix these, because they're not super big things that like are game breaking or anything. And maybe if enough of us complain, enough of us ask Rockstar, maybe they'll add these to this vehicle. And the two things that I want to talk about, there's technically three. I'll touch on the third one towards the end, but that's not too important. The two main things, though, have to do with the nerve center, and it has to do with the resupply missions. So Rockstar sort of advertised this Terrorbyte as a vehicle that is your hub for all of your businesses. And it sort of is, because with all the businesses, you can do source missions like for import and export. You can buy crates if you do that. You can resupply your businesses with resupply missions straight from here. But the part that just doesn't make any sense why they didn't add it is not being able to see your supplies, your product, and not being able to buy supplies. You can do the missions to replenish them, but you can't buy them. In order to see that info and to buy supplies, you have to go all the way back to your business, which defeats the entire purpose of the Terrorbyte. So I guess basically what I'm going to be asking Rockstar in this video is to add those two things. Add the ability to buy supplies from the Terrorbyte, maybe even at an increased cost since it's mobile or whatever, and then also give us the option to see our supplies and product. If Rockstar added those two things to this vehicle, this thing would be probably the best thing in the game, just because of everything it could do. Now let's talk a little bit more about these features in depth, because I have some ideas for them, and I've seen some other ideas that are good that I think would be easily implemented. So regarding the buying supplies, that could just be a separate option. Like on the Nerve Center, maybe they add a new page or something. Or maybe when you click on your business, let's say in the gameplay, you're going to say, I click on cocaine, right? Well, instead of doing a resupply mission, maybe it gives me the option to buy supplies instead. And normally, I believe the supplies cost $75,000. Maybe they bump it up to $100,000 just because you're buying it from the Terrorbyte. You know, there could be some really dumb in-game reason for that, because it's mobile, it's not at your business location, whatever. But I think many people wouldn't mind paying a little extra fee to have stuff in this Terrorbyte. The other thing, seeing the supplies and even the product, the reason this is so big is because of basically what I'm showing you guys could happen in this gameplay. So I started the gameplay by setting up my cocaine shop, right? And what that does, it gives me full supplies. So technically, I don't need to get supplies for a while, right? But then like 5 minutes later, when the bar in the supply thing just goes down a little bit, like it went from 100% to like 98%, right? The Terrorbyte actually lets me do a resupply mission. And obviously I knew this going into it, but a lot of the times you don't know your supply level. So if your supply level is at, let's say, 95%, the Terrorbyte lets you do a supply mission, and you're actually wasting time because it's going to take you like 5 to 10 minutes to do that supply mission, and your bar's only going to go up 5% when it should be going up 25%. I believe that, like a supply mission, I believe that's what it does. And that's the problem with the Terrorbyte and with these supply missions. You have to go back to your business to even know when you should resupply, because if you do just resupply randomly, you could be hurting your business because it also stops production when you do these resupply missions. So giving us the option somewhere in our Terrorbyte, or maybe even on our phone, doesn't even need to be in the Terrorbyte, but giving us the option to see the supplies would greatly improve the Terrorbyte's feature of resupply missions. Because then you could see, all right, I've lost 25% of my supplies, let me do a resupply mission, and boom, I'm good to go. I don't need to go all the way back to the Coke shop, right, to see if I've lost those 25% of supplies. And then if they introduced the ability to buy supplies, then you could just wait until it goes all the way down or whatever, and then you can just buy the supplies. And again, whether that be in the Terrorbyte, in the Nerve Center, or if it's just an app on your phone. I seen a really cool idea. They can make a new mission for a new phone. You have to invade the Life Invader place. You have to go in there, steal blueprints for a new phone design, and that's how we get an upgrade to the phone. That's how we get some new apps. That's how we get the app that shows us supplies for everything. And maybe this phone will cost $1 million. I don't know. Rockstar could put some paywall in it and make some money, but that would be like the only way that they would make these resupply missions worth it. Because at the moment, not knowing where your supplies are at or what your supplies are at literally makes these missions, these new missions, pointless. Now, the Terrorbyte is useful for the crates if you do that, and it's actually really useful for the import and export because there's no supplies there. You just source a car. So for those, it's good, but for the gun running, for the hangar, and for the MC businesses, you're questioning, why am I doing this? Because I don't know what my supplies, I don't know what's happening to them. So if you agree with anything that I've said so far, I'd appreciate if you could drop the video a like, share it with Rockstar. Again, maybe if enough people complain, maybe we get something done about this. Because I really like the Terrorbyte, and I wish it had these two features so I could even use it more than I already do. Now, the other feature that I think should be buffed on the Terrorbyte, and some may not agree with this, but the thing I was mentioning at the beginning, the tracking on the missiles. If you've ever used the missile system, it's so bad. I mean, it can barely even kill NPC helicopters, like police helicopters, because the tracking on the missiles are just horrible. If they were to maybe buff those to like the Oppressor missiles, then that would be much better. The Oppressor missiles, while they're good, they hit a lot of the times, you can still pretty easily evade them if you are a decent enough pilot. So I don't think it'd be too overpowered. But again, I mean, the Terrorbyte having really good missile systems, I guess, defeats the purpose of the Chernobog, and it does make it a little OP. But that's those are the things that I wish they would change about the Terrorbyte. I mean, some might argue they should make it faster, they should make it have more like plowing damage, but that stuff I don't really care too much about. But the two things, and then maybe the missiles. Again, if you agree, please drop the video a like, share it with your friends, share it with Rockstar. If you're new around here, go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any other awesome GTA content, and hit that little bell notification button so you don't miss out when I do post them. But anyway, thank you all, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.